affect where you're at?
You know, it certainly had an impact, Jeremiah. I wouldn't be able to tell you, because there's enough things that we've had control over with where we're at and how we've played in some basketball games and the way I've coached and the way the guys have made some plays. I mean, we've had enough control that we should be in a better spot from a win-loss record. That's on us in the way we're playing and the way that I'm coaching. As I look ahead to what I would do, next year was the right thing to do this year, but I won't do that with the team again. That's too long to be away from home, to be traveling, the amount of time it takes away from some practice. It just, all the stuff that goes with it. That's too long a stretch. But again, we've had more than enough opportunities to be able to take care of business, to be in a much better spot.
Do you feel like the number of minutes some of the guys are playing is a factor at all, or
I don't think so, Gary. They seem good. I think it was more Wes getting through the back injury, and he's been healthy now for a couple weeks. He's been much better. So no, I don't think so. I don't think that's been a factor.
You'd mentioned on the post-game show that you may be looking at trying to do some things different offensively. You touched on it a little bit, but how much at this juncture of the season can you revamp the offense or do things different?
Yeah, and I don't, as I talk about it, we're always adding things to our offense and we're always changing it. When things are going really well, you don't have to talk about it and you don't notice it. Okay, but we're always adding and changing and doing things different and sliding guys into different spots, figuring out how we can. So we're always doing these things. It's just in a time like this, when you have a game like Saturday and you've struggled a little bit, it gets brought to the forefront a little more. So it won't be completely different than what we do every year in terms of looking for stuff that's going to work for us. But we do have to find a couple things that we can really build on, and I think we've got them. We've got to do some of those better right now. So yeah, we'll tweak it and add some things to it, but it isn't about revamping it and scrapping and starting over.
You played North Carolina, Iowa State, really high caliber teams. When you look at Wichita State and what they bring in, are there some comparisons?
Yeah, they're getting there. As I watch their games, the games that I have gone through and watched, as you get into the last 4 or 5 of them here, Gary, they're getting there, and they're on an upward trajectory for sure. With getting those guys healthy, they've got a couple of new guys that are playing for them, guys that are coming in off the bench with Fran Camp and McDuffie, and then some of the other guys that are just playing more now. Some guys that are back but didn't play as much a year ago that are starting to get some experience. Shaq Morris in the starting lineup and the transfer that comes in and was starting earlier. So those guys are starting to play better. They're starting to look like the team that all of us thought they were going to be, no question.
Along those lines, Jake, is there one or two guys